Hello, Scott here. You're watching the Slow Rider channel. And today I want to talk a little bit about the Harley-Davidson Smart Security System. The Smart Security System uses a key fob to activate and deactivate what is basically an ignition lock. The Harley Smart Security System includes key fobs like this. When you park the bike, as long as the key fob is within 5 feet, you'll turn the ignition off. In 5 seconds, the system will automatically arm itself. And you'll see the turn signals will flash twice to indicate the system is armed. Once the system is armed, the red security light will be flashing, and that tells you now that any movement of the bike will trigger the security system, as long as the fob is not still present. When the system is armed, pulling the bike off of its jiffy stand or kickstand, or turning the handlebars, it will trigger the alarm's activation. And you'll see when the alarm is activated, the security red light there goes solid, and you'll see the turn signals are flashing. You can also see here the turn signals flashing, which indicates the alarm has been triggered. And there is an optional siren that can be added to this system, which is probably quite a bit more effective than some flashing lights. So the idea is you now park your bike, take your fob with you, you walk off, and the system is now activated. So if somebody comes along without the fob, they can't turn the ignition on. And I can demonstrate that by leaving the fob over here, come back, turn the ignition on, and you'll see now it's telling me that I need to enter PIN. So the thing with these fobs is they have a small battery in there. It's a Panasonic 2032. It's like a little watch battery. In the owner's manual, it will tell you that these batteries should be replaced every year. And to do that, you could put a screwdriver in this slot, pop this open, replace the battery. So imagine that you're out somewhere, you park your bike, and your battery happens to go dead. Well, that's where the PIN comes in. So right now the fob is not within distance of the bike. So if I turn the ignition on without the fob present, or if the fob battery had died, you'll see I get prompted to enter the PIN. So if you get a bike, whether it's from a dealer or a private party, see if the bike has this smart security system. And if it does, you want to make sure you get the PIN from the previous owner or from the dealer. So once you have your PIN, of course you need to make sure it's with you at all times, just in case something goes wrong with that fob, or even if you lose the fob. If I don't want to have to carry that PIN around with me, what I might do is use my phone and take a photo of the PIN. Now I have a photo of my PIN at any time as long as I have my phone. I can come into the photo app on my phone, find the photo that I took of the PIN, and I know that I'll have that PIN with me. So if you have the PIN, there's one more important piece that you need, and that's the actual procedure for disarming the security system using the PIN. So again, what I will do is, instead of carrying around the owner's manual or this printout, I will use my phone to take a picture of that. So if I ever get stuck, I have the procedure and I have the PIN. So let's see how this would work if my fob had died. So right now I don't have the fob within range of the bike. So if I turn on the ignition, fob is not there, and it's going to tell me to enter PIN. So step one is obviously make sure you have your PIN with you. Step number 2, turn the ignition on and wait for it to prompt you to enter PIN. So you need to progress through these steps pretty quickly. So you need to turn the ignition on. As soon as it says enter PIN, you need to press and release the left turn signal. So you can see that it very quickly went back to shut itself off. So you need to be quick with this and going through these steps. So the way it's going to work is the first time you press the left turn signal switch, it's going to prompt you for the first digit of the PIN. Each time you press the left turn signal, it's going to increment that number by 1. So I'll show you what I mean here. If I turn the ignition on, as soon as it says enter pin, I press the left turn signal. You can see that it flashes the number 1, and every time I press the left turn signal, you'll see that number increases. And it'll go all the way up to 9, and then once you click it another time, it'll start over at 1. So if your number was 4 and you missed it, you just keep pressing until you get back around. So once you get the first digit put in, you're going to use the right turn signal to move on to the next digit. So I'll run through this kind of quickly and see what we get when we put in the last digit. So on, wait for the enter pin prompt, left turn signal to get to the first digit. All right, I have the first digit input. I'm going to now press the right turn signal to move on to the next one. Using the left turn signal, I'm going to wait till I get the second digit. Then I'm going to press the right signal to get to the third digit. Keep doing that sequence. Now once I get this last digit put in, I have to press the right turn signal one final time. That accepts the pin and fires up the ignition. So at this point, I can start the bike and be on my way, even if my key fob is lost or the battery has died. So since I just bought this bike from a previous owner, I want to create my own pin. I made sure to get the pin that the previous owner had selected when I purchased the bike. It's very important to not forget to do that. I figured out what I want my new pin to be. So before I get started here, I want to make sure I have the on-off switch actually turned to off. The ignition is off. So now I'm ready to begin this procedure. I'm going to turn the ignition on. Now I'm going to turn this switch to run, off, and back to run. Now I press the left turn signal 2 times. Now I'm going to press the right turn signal switch 1 time and release it. After doing that procedure, you'll see that the pin is now displayed here. So if you don't get your pin from the previous owner, as long as you have an active fob, you can still at least get that. So to change the pin, it's very similar to entering the pin. So I'm selecting each digit using the left turn signal. Once I have the digit that I want, I'm switching to the right to advance it to the next digit. So now I have my new pin selected. I'm going to press the right turn signal switch 1 final time. Then I'm going to turn the engine stop switch to off. Now I'm going to turn the ignition switch to off. So let's go back and see if that actually worked. I make sure the kill switch is off, the ignition is off. I'm going to turn the ignition on, cycle the kill switch on, off, on, off, on. Press the left turn signal twice, then press the right signal once, and there my new pin is displayed. So I know that worked. So now that you know my new pin, I need to go back and change it one more time, and I think I'll do that one off camera. So there you go. Now we know how to input the pin if we ever use our fob or the battery dies on it, and we know how to change the pin to something else. So thanks so much for watching. I hope that helps if you have a Harley security system and were wondering about this.